Thank you very, very much, Senator Scott.
Sure. Mr. Colby, congratulations first on your nomination, and thanks for being here. Thank you for taking the opportunity to meet with me. And you made a commitment when we met that you're going to do everything you can to enact President Trump's agenda, standing with our allies, including Israel, and bringing peace back through strength. So as we talked about, I represent Florida. I got a big Jewish population, very pro-Israel population in my state. After 4 years of President Biden's complete abandonment of Israel and appeasement of dangerous regimes in Iran, China, and more, I thank God we have President Trump back in the White House, the most pro-Israel president in our nation's history. President Trump has already made clear that as long as he is president, Iran will never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. And I've been encouraged by the decisive actions he's taken so far to restore maximum pressure on Iran. I've heard concerns, as you know, from my constituents. So can you talk about your previous comments on Iran and your commitment to supporting Israel and supporting the president's agenda?
Sure. Thank you very much, Senator. As you said, I'm honored to be nominated by President Trump. I would be honored to serve in his administration if confirmed. I believe he has the right America First, peace through strength perspective. He's an excellent negotiator, and I think he's putting together a great team. And if confirmed, I'd be honored to serve among them. I believe I have a very strong record, more than strong, airtight, a record on support for Israel, which I've referred to as a model ally. I think it's a key interest of the United States, and its security has been obviously taken a huge body blow as a result of the Hamas attacks and the concurrent attacks or subsequent attacks from Iran and its proxies and so forth. And I've publicly stood with Israel. I believe it's important to have the memorandum of understanding and so forth, that we stand behind Israel not only politically but financially and with wherever possible and as part of our overall strategy, militarily and so forth. On the issue of Iran, I've made clear that my personal position, as Senator Sullivan rightly underlines, is that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. We should deny Iran to have a nuclear weapon, and that if confirmed, it would be my personal responsibility, and my duty, to present the president with very good, plausible options that are credible options that are consistent, I should stress, with the president's overall approach, of course, which is to try to have a trust but verify negotiated agreement or something like it. But you got to have the hammer there available. What I would say, Senator, and I was discussing with Senator Sullivan a little bit, is the way that I would look at the overall kind of arc of my thinking, if you'll permit me, is to say really the thrust of my thinking and advocacy over the years, and my strategic approach has been, we got to get the ends, ways, and means together. We got to have something close. I think what President Trump is talking about, very similar, we were talking about President Reagan, to the Weinberger doctrine. Say, if you're going to, you need to be strong to get peace. But if we're going to put American forces into action, we're going to have a clear goal. It's going to have an exit strategy that's plausible. That doesn't mean inaction, but that's the kind of thing. And a lot of my advocacy and commentary, especially as a kind of public intellectual, if you will, was pushing back against a lot of people who, frankly, I would say we're quite cavalier about the employment of military force. And I think, to your point, Senator, with President Trump's leadership, with the Vice President, with Secretary of Defense Hegseth, we have a team that understands strength for sure, that understands the role of negotiation, but also understands that it's important, the downside risks of the use of military force and the importance of not being cavalier about it, employing our men and women in uniform.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The prior administration withheld and slowed down the delivery of bombs to Israel and the joint direct action munition kits that convert those bombs into precision-guided munitions. In this row, I think, would you just go on and commit that you agree that we should reverse the former administration's anti-Israel policies and correct any bureaucratic holdups that are delaying any U.S. arms to Israel?
I agree, Senator, and what I've said and what I would say here again is, if confirmed, I would advocate removing kind of the bear hug, which is to say Israel is a model ally in the sense that it's a capable and willing ally that isn't asking us to fight all its own fights. It's basically wants the ability and capability and backing to go out and take care of business. And I think a very effective example of that ends, ways, means model is exactly Israel's actions against Hezbollah and Iran itself a few months ago, which I think were very effective, and they left us in a better position. Obviously, they didn't solve the problem of Hezbollah and Iran. I think the Israelis are realists like we should be, which is to say the threat doesn't just go away, but they've put themselves and us in a better position by the intelligent and robust application of military force in a politically smart way.
The last one's a real easy question. Do you agree that the government of China has made the decision to become our adversary?
I think, yes, absolutely. I think that's correct, Senator.
Thanks.
Thank you, Senator Scott. Senator Colby, in the context of your answer, What is the bear hug?
My understanding of the bear hug, from what I've been reading, is a kind of a sort of like a hovering kind of control over Israel's decisions that some people advocate, which is saying, you know, we're going to pick and choose exactly what you can and can't do. My view, that I think is consistent with the president's view, if I may say, Senator, is that we should be looking for allies who are able but also willing to do things more autonomously and take action. I think in the case of, for instance, Hezbollah, again, just relying on public reporting, I'm not sure how much we in the United States even really knew about it, but it was very effective, and I think it ended up being more in our interest.
Thank you for that explanation.